comes to your food. So I've given you one recipe from your food box this week, the enchiladas. I'm going to give you another recipe now using some of the other things that you've still got half left on things. So you've still got hopefully some of your pasta left, that was in your food box. You've got some of your broccoli left. You should have half a pepper left because you only used half. You should have half your cheese left. And you should have half of your onion left. So what we're going to do today is make a macaroni cheese. I'm going to talk about some of the things you can put in there, and then I'll leave it up to you to decide what you do want in there, because there's loads of choices in mac and cheese. But I must highlight, to make the cheese sauce, you would need to go back to one of my mini series, okay, bite size, and look how to make a basic bechamel sauce. We've got one here I've made up earlier. I'm going to add a few things to it, okay. I'm going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard to it, I like that, and we're going to add the rest of the cheese, and we're just going to heat it through till the cheese melts, so you'll need to do that. I'm going to send Hayden off in a minute, my trusty chef, and he's going to go and he's going to like sweat these onions off, or cook, just fry them gently until they become nice and soft. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. I'll give this to Hayden, I'll be back in a moment.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so here's the cheese sauce, and what I'm going to do is put a little bit of mustard in there, just a touch, and I'm going to put my cheese in there, cheese that's left over. Give that a little stir around, and just well done.
Nice and soft, chef.
Lovely. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now. Would you like to put them into the sauce?
Yeah.
Add the onions to the sauce. Let them stir. I'll add the onions to the sauce. Thank you. Give it a quick stir. Well done, fella. Okay, see you in a mo. So the other thing we've got to be mindful of, and I've mentioned this in other videos, when you're cooking pasta, my students, the water has to be boiling. So if we have a look at that, there's nice big bubbles coming up from the water there, and that's boiling. So I'm going to put what's left of my pasta in there. There's about just under half a packet. I'm going to put some on top of the cooker's top as well, so I like to do that. And we're going to leave that to cook. So I will see you in about, I reckon, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we'll show you the final bit of this. Okay, see you then.
Many minutes later.
Okay, so there's the cheese sauce. It's got some onions in, it's got cheese in there, it's a little bit of pinch of salt, and it's got some mustard in there. Okay, that should be quite nice. Now the fillings for this, we've got the pasta to mix in, obviously, with the sauce. Now let's think about some of the things you could have in. I've mentioned peppers. If you wanted to put your peppers in, you've got to chop them up, and you would fry them with the onions, like we did with the enchiladas. I quite like things like broccoli in it. Because if you think, sometimes for your Sunday lunch you will have broccoli and leeks in the cheese sauce, or cauliflower in the cheese sauce, so I think it goes quite well in there, and it's obviously good for the health police, because they won't be arriving if you put some vegetables in there. Other things people can do, sausages, okay, or chopped up bacon. So chef, can you bring me a knife over?
Yes, chef.
You could use hot dogs. Well, I've done that at home before. You could use vegetarian hot dogs. You can get those vegetarian sausages. Thank you. So if I was going to put this in, put it in the last stage before we bake the pasta, I would just chop the bacon and the sausages up into little pieces. Don't know who I'm going to give this to tonight. Someone always gets a demo bit. I might ask Rob, but I don't think he likes cheese. Is that right, chef? Rob?
That's right, chef.
So your bacon you can cut up as well. You could use a pair of scissors on your bacon if you have to use scissors. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. So there we are. Really, what you want to put in, you could put sweet corn in if you like. You've got these things in your boxes, so yeah, fry the peppers. To cook those, I'll drop them in boiling water for about 5 or 6 minutes just to blanch them through so they're soft, and then add them to your cheese sauce. Because it's going to go in the oven and be baked for about 20 minutes just to get it nice and hot. So really, I need to put the oven on now before I put it together. So I'll go and do that. See you in a moment. So I've just got a bit of pasta out. Check your pasta's cooked, because if you put your pasta in, you still find it's really hard when it goes in there. It's going to really not be so good for your dish when it comes out. So I checked it, and that's soft enough for me. So, Chef Hayden, could you just drain that off for me, please?
Yes, Chef.
Thank you. And what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to just mix in the sausages and the bacon into the sauce mix. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to put a little bit of paprika on the top. Thank you, Chef. Well done. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of paprika on the top because I like that. If you had any more cheese, I mean, if you have a bit of Parmesan knocking about at home, you could grate that on the top, or you could, if you have got any more cheddar at home, any cheese, as long as I wouldn't put blue cheese on, but you could put cheddar on there, a bit Wednesday down, isn't it really? Just put that on the top because it's going to melt down nicely. So let's do that now. So cheese sauce, in it goes. Chef, have you got a wooden spoon for me?
Yes, Chef.
Thank you. Oh, look, thank you, there we go, that's wonderful. Mix it up. It's right on the floor. Don't want to waste any. So I've stuck to as much as possible what you got left in the box there. So you would have, maybe if I wanted a bit of broccoli, you might have a bit more sweet corn in there if you want. But if you're going to stretch it, get yourself a few bits of bacon or a couple of sausages, that'd be good. So just level it out. And I'm just going to get some paprika. Just sprinkle a little bit of smoked paprika onto the top there. There we go. Okay, so
I'm just going to put it in the oven at gas mark 5.
"20 minutes later."
okay, so it's been in the oven about 20 minutes. Hayden, can you get it out and let's have a look at it?
Yes, Chef Guy.
What do you think? Yeah?
Good.
I think it looks nice as well. So
Looks
there we
nice and cheesy, Guy, doesn't it?
It does, but it's melted on the top of the cheese, isn't
Yeah.
it? So, have a go at it, guys, and enjoy. Have a go at this. This is the other half, isn't it, of your meal box. Don't forget, you've also got your potato in there with your tuna. I showed you how to do a jacket potato with tuna, or have given you the recipe for that. Okay, so you can bake a potato, mix some tuna up, and put that in, and maybe if you've got a bit more cheese, a bit of cheese on the top there for your potatoes. So stay safe, enjoy your cooking. I would like to say one thing. Thank you so much for those of my students who have actually gone and cooked things and sent them in to me and Rob to look at. It's really nice to see. It makes you feel you're doing something useful when actually students are doing your work. Okay, so I would like to say thank you parents and thank you for students to doing some cooking with your youngsters. And I'd like to thank Rob as well for producing this. Okay, he does a lot of camera work, he spends a lot of time out editing stuff. And I'd like to thank my assistant chef, Hayden, for helping me out doing other jobs in here, and it makes it a lot quicker to do. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him.
Namaste.